Hey, it's Mac. So, the thing with Perez is really, really bad. So, I've not seen the video. I've only seen a photo of it, but I've heard people talking about it. And I found out tonight that, his kids weren't in the house with him because the sister had taken the kids and fled with them. So, the impact of what Perez Hilton did is going to be felt for a very long time. It's going to affect TikTok and the fact that they didn't cut it off until like 30 minutes had gone by and maybe a million people saw it. So, all of these people who saw what he was doing to himself and his psychotic break in real time, they're going to be mentally affected for years to come by what happened. I wouldn't be surprised if they filed a class action lawsuit against TikTok for allowing that to go on for as long as it did. His kids are going to be traumatized for years to come as well, and they're going to need intensive therapy. Meanwhile, he is like under a psychiatric hold. I don't know if he's intubated. They're saying things like he's able to communicate. So that to me indicates, he could be intubated. And what you're saying is that he's doing it like by writing things down or something. Otherwise, you'd be like, he's talking and he's okay. But apparently, he's on lockdown. I read that his own family is having trouble getting updates. And I think that that's typical of a psychiatric hold. And then in addition to the psychiatric hold, he did harm to himself. So I'm sure he was, taken into surgery. So what bothers me is, one, people want to give this dude so much grace when he has just literally not only like imploded his life, but possibly like he's affected the mental health of his children, his family, and the million people who saw him in real time harm himself. Like this was an epic blow up of of his life, with innocent people, having to suffer the consequences of the fallout. So, but he gets grace, right? This guy who had no grace, no empathy, no compassion forever for women, especially. I never saw him really rake guys over the coals, but he terrorized women. He terrorized female celebrities. He terrorized female celebrities that were under the age of 18. He did so many horrific things, you know? He is in part to blame for the conservatorship being implemented because he had a direct hand in shaping the public perception of Britney Spears' mental health. So I hear this guy doing commentary tonight, and he's like, he went so hard on Britney when she had her psychotic break and she shaved her head. These two things are not the same. First of all, shaving your head is not an indicator of a psychotic break. It's an indication that you don't want to have extensions in your head anymore, that you're tired of being controlled all the way down to the roots on your scalp. And they also cited the paparazzi who was rage baiting her. What she did with the umbrella is less serious than what Alec Baldwin did to a reporter, what Sean Penn did to a reporter. There's a sitting representative who is up for re-election that has been accused of domestic violence, including breaking the collarbone of his 2-year-old daughter. He is being less vilified than Britney Spears. It's the media machine that shaped the public's perception of her mental health that created the cover for trafficking her. Without people like Perez, she could not have been trafficked. It just wouldn't have been possible. The hate towards Britney was so widespread and so socially acceptable that when, a governor's wife threatened to kill Britney, nobody arrested her. You can't do that. That's against the law. Britney's team is largely to blame for not doing a damn thing to protect her. Not getting questions in advance and shutting down interviews, not stopping the time that MTV made her sit in front of a monitor and get ridiculed, not doing anything to shut down when she was a minor being sexually harassed by talk show hosts repeatedly. being asked if she could kiss one of them, asked by a lecherous old man about her breasts. Larry Rudolph and all the others that were involved are largely to blame for that. Her family is to blame for 2007 and beyond. Like, that's Kevin Federline's, that's Jamie and Lynn Spears, and it was always about the money. Everything with Britney, in my opinion, is about the money. I think the negative press that she gets today is about the money. I would not be surprised if she's not being embezzled from right now. I would not be surprised. Because the more she's diminished, the less likely anybody's going to come looking for the money. That's my opinion. And I think I want to make a couple more comments. I think that Jaden's live and him making a point of saying it's her in the videos and on Instagram, that feels to me like an answer to the fact that people call into question whether it's really her. And I don't know that that really comes from him and not from somebody else pushing him to say that and address that. He is a lot like Kevin. He wants to be the star. He wants the attention. He wants the accolades. He's very much his father's son, even if he looks like Britney. The other thing I want to say is that it seems to me like these paparazzi pictures are really a response to the accusations online that Kate Hudson is controlling her. It seems to me that, send her out into the world with a guy that I think is being paid to date her and, give her a positive headline, and then that gets people off his back because, look, she must be free. Look, she's out. She's dating. I don't know. So my speculation is that there are methods being used today that were being used during the conservatorship to shape not only public perception, i.e., a public relations firm that pushes out pieces, tabloid articles with the same messaging as the conservatorship. Britney's unwell. Britney needs to be controlled. She's only safe if she's under somebody else's control. And I think the surveillance tactics in some regards, like maybe tracking her phone, I think some of those methods of control from those conservatorship are still being used today. Like, that's how I think she got pulled over for a DUI. I think they just tracked her phone. And who the they is, we can all speculate. And again, I think that the amount of control and the shaping public perception is really about, at the end of the day, it's about money, it's about influence, it's about being able to take what she built and use it to better these other people's lives. I also think, for the record, I think Lou Taylor had to pay Britney. So when Lou talked to the New York Times via her lawyer in 2020, she said she left Britney with approximately $60 million. So fast forward to I think it was 2024 when they finally settled everything. What they said about the 12th accounting is this $57 million she had was actually not reflective of the entire estate value. So I believe Robin was deposed and Lou wasn't. And my working theory that I cannot prove is the reason why she said in 2020 it was approximately 60 million is because at that time it was the 57 million and she didn't expect there to be any more than that. But by the time you get to 2024 and there's been forensic accounting and it's clear that money is missing, a settlement had to be made in order to stay out of federal prison. And that's why the accounting says that 57 million is not reflective of the entire value of the estate. So, and Lou has been accused of buying her way out of criminal charges in other states. So I can't prove it, but that's my guess. My guess is that she actually probably paid something like pennies on the dollars compared to what she probably, could have potentially, I'm speculating, helped herself too. And so I don't actually think that Britney is in dire straits financially. I think she probably got a decent amount of money back. Not all of it, obviously, pennies on the dollar, in my opinion. But I think that some of the business moves that Kate has made has been about generating a commission for himself. So, I don't know. It's all very sad. I really don't believe that she's broken as a person. I think some of what Britney has posted lately is more about, I think maybe she reverts back to like 14-year-old Britney. And she describes 14-year-old Britney as being like hell-bent on doing what she wanted. You know, she was smoking, she was going out with Reg, and she was skipping school. And so I think her mom has triggered her with these stupid fucking posts and pretending like, you know, she's some sort of like guru who has faith in God and whatever. Like, it couldn't be further from the truth. If you had faith in God, you wouldn't have trafficked your daughter. You wouldn't have drugged your daughter. No mother who thinks their daughter has a serious drug problem, you guys, is going to drug her. And I'll never get over how she gave an interview. And they were like, so what was she doing? Was it drugs? Was it alcohol? And Lynn's all, oh, I don't know. Well, then, like, you know, why was she in promises? And she's just playing dumb. And they're like, well, do you think that fixed that problem? And she's like, I think it put a Band-Aid on the situation. I'm always telling her, you got to face your problems. Don't run away. You got to face them. Bitch. You fabricated all of 2007, and we've got the receipts to prove it. She wasn't the one doing the drugs. It was Kevin, who you were covering for. So, what problems? You were the problem. You and your nasty ex-husband. I mean, so imagine knowing what your mom did to you and the fact that she ruined your fucking life and she ruined your reputation. And she doesn't even have the fucking money when it's all said and done. And seeing her act on Instagram like she's some sort of godly woman. Like, imagine what that would do to your frame of mind. Anyway, I think that explains some of the content, the recent content. I also feel like it's a response to us saying, that shit's old. What do you mean it's her art and therapy? And they said, here, hold our beer. I don't know.